How's it going, everybody? And welcome to the Wednesday Fantasy Pick'em for this upcoming Daytona 500 that we are really excited about. Now, I've gone through this quite a bit, and I've been thinking, because Daytona is really a crapshoot. You know, I've been pondering and pandering and kind of thinking, you know, who's going to be there at the end. The Clash wasn't really a good indicator of what the fuck's going to happen, because for the last 30 laps, everybody was single file. And we'll talk about that a little bit, but we got to keep this kind of short because we, of course, want to get out of here quick. We want to make these fantasy picks. We want to see who's going to win the Wednesday Pick'em series by the greenflagblogger. Before we get into our first pick, make sure to join the Fantasy Pick'em League immediately. We got to make sure we have everybody in here. Remember, this is a pick'em where there's no practice. You know, in this case, we've seen qualifying and the Clash, but normally it's going to be no practice each week. We're just going to dive right in, crapshoot every single week, and let's get right into it. So, I will do the honors and take my first pick this week at Daytona. Showed his stuff off a bit earlier in the week. Was very fast in the Clash. Had gotten fastest in practice one of the days on the previous Saturday we just had. I'm going to go with Ryan Blaney. He's my first pick. I didn't pick him to win the race or win any stages, but I'm going to put him in as a starter. I think he's definitely going to be fast. I think he's going to be up front. You know, a lot's going to be said in the duels tomorrow, or on Thursday, rather. You'll probably hear this tomorrow, but on the duels on Thursday are going to tell a lot about what it's going to look like on Sunday. For me, I think Blaney will be up front. I think all three Penske cars will be up front, and I kind of just gave away a second pick, but I did leave Joey Logano off this list. Now, moving on to my second pick, I have Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott won the last two Daytona 500 poles and was a little bit slow this year around. I'm not really sure what was wrong with Chase. I would say it maybe just chalk it up to the new team. I don't know, though. They looked a little bit off the pace. You'll see him in the duels try to get up front and lead. In the Clash, he got stuck in the back, and he just could not make his way up forward. Everybody was afraid to pop out and go to the bottom. So hopefully just sort of a out-of-character weekend for Chase. And, of course, he's my favorite driver, so I'm rooting for him. But I put him in here because I feel like he is really good at Daytona if he can stay out of trouble. And he might be due. He's definitely due for a win, but he could be due for a really good finish at Daytona this upcoming weekend. Now we move on to my third pick. This one is definitely the shot in the dark. This is where it gets into like Daytona is just so hard to predict, and I just think, well, he might be a guy that's around at the end because he has been in before. I'm going to go with Kevin Harvick in the number 4 Jimmy John's Ford. And the pick for me was he was a former Daytona 500 champion. He's proved to be pretty good at restrictor plate tracks, and he's a closer. He's always sort of there at the end. And look for Harvick to kind of lead the way as now one of the oldest veterans in the field. I think it's him and Jimmy Johnson. And just keep your eye on Harvick. He's a guy that I was there in 2007 when he won the 500, and if I'm here again, then I'm definitely his good luck charm. But I don't have him winning the race, but I have him as one of my starters. So if he were to win, it wouldn't be that bad. I have fourth pick, Denny Hamlin. So qualified second, of course. Hamlin has proven he's won the 500. He's won the shootout. He's great on restrictor plate tracks and he's kind of an unsung hero on restrictor plates. He does not get the credit he deserves. Pretty funny that I have Elliott and Hamlin in the same lineup, but yeah, he's qualified second. He's very fast. All the Gibbs guys are fast, but I had to put him in there above Kyle Busch and Eric Jones. I just think he gets around Daytona so well. He's always around the front, and look to him to maybe win a stage or win the race. And my fifth pick, as I mentioned earlier, for my last starter is going to be Brad Keselowski. Bad Brad won the Clash pretty easily, I might add. Didn't have to face too much adversity in that race. Look for him to, be a threat in the duels and a threat in the 500. I think he could win the duel and the 500. I actually have him winning the Daytona 500, and I have him winning the championship if you're reading my blog and, following along on Twitter and that stuff. But, I think Brad is in for a huge season, and if he were to win the Great American Race, it would set him up great going forward. He could be a lot more aggressive in the regular season, and, I just have him winning the race. He looked that dominant in the Clash. The Penske cars looked like they were going to help him out. And, he looks like the winner to me. And in my garage, I have Jimmy Johnson. I have the old grandpa veteran, as people are calling him, which is absolutely crazy because he is not old at all. 7-time, maybe the greatest ever to do it. If he wins the 8th, he definitely is the greatest ever to do it. Have him in the garage, and although it's locked in, I just want to keep him there. If I were to change anything, I would let everybody know on social media. But that is my starting lineup here. We have Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, and in the garage, we have Jimmy Johnson. Now, my stage winners, I have stage 1 winner, Brad K. I have Bad Brad getting up, maybe, I think he's going to finish really good in the duels, come up to the front, lead from the get-go. It's sort of what he's done before when he's won the Pepsi 400. Now it's the Coke Zero 400. And Denny Hamlin I have winning the second stage, and then I have Keselowski capping off the day with the race win and giving Ford the manufacturer winner. So, yeah, that's what I have this week for my fantasy NASCAR team. Let me know what your thoughts are. Make sure to join it. I will actually link it in the description of this podcast and the video that I put out. And let's see who can win. Let's see who, has the knowledge. So thanks, guys, for listening. And I'm getting ready to go to Daytona. I can't wait. My flight leaves tomorrow, so let's get it.